Hello, I'm Reema Chandra and welcome to Cooking Without Boundaries. Cooking without boundaries to me means breaking out of many boundaries, whether it's cuisine, culture, or simple ones like recipes, ingredients, and skills. Creating conversations, sharing and nurturing my passion, and hoping to inspire you is what cooking without boundaries means to me. Hi, and welcome to Cooking Without Boundaries. Last night I was in quite a rush. I had to take my daughter somewhere and then come back and do the dinner for family, and I ended up putting together something very quickly, and it turned out to be very easy because I already had a few ingredients in the refrigerator. So I figured that and family loved it. So I figured, why not try with some other ingredients as well? And the thing that I made was panini. Now, that word must sound very familiar to all of you, most of you. I ended up then making a few different kinds of panini and came up with these 3 or 4 that were just delicious. So today I'm going to share those with you, and we are going to cook wholesome, hearty, tasty, easy paninis. Now, when we think of paninis, it sounds like Italian, and very true, it does come from Italy. But in Italy, in the 16th century or so, there is mention of panini in cookbook, but the word panini comes from an Italian word called paninio. And that means a small loaf of bread, which then started getting used in households with filled up with leftovers from meals. So essentially, it was paninio meant small loaf of bread with filling. In the mid 20th century, it made its way to America, and we started filling it with lots of fancy stuff and called it panini. Now, we traditionally used ciabatta bread with it, but now sliced bread, any kind, can be used to make panini. Mostly it comes out very good if the bread is not very soft, the sliced bread, but it is a little hard. So we are going to make 4 different kind of paninis today. First one, we'll start with pesto chicken panini. We'll go on to making portobello panini, butternut squash panini, and then end our panini session with tangy tofu panini. Each one of these paninis, they may sound very fancy, but there are many ingredients that are common. Cheese slices, baby spinach, tomato slices, green pepper or red pepper. These are very common ingredients found in most refrigerator or veggie basket. So those are common. So once we start cooking them, it will go very fast. So let's get started with pesto chicken panini. So for making panini, these days you can find panini press in shops, and you can spend a good amount of money buying them, or you use a pan that you already have at home, and most households have some sort of grilling pan, so you can use that and use a heavy object as press. Oftentimes, I do have a small press handheld that I press the panini with, but you can also use a kettle full of water to press your panini on a grilling pan. So this is grilling pan. This has this grill thing made at the bottom, which gives gives the panini a grilled look. This is a cast iron pan, and this heats very well. So this is actually a very traditional panini making tool here, and this of course is a regular non-stick frying pan, and I most of us have in our household. So what I do is I use this handheld panini press if I'm using this pan. So just wanted to show you different commonly found pans that we have and how we can use it to make panini. Today I'm going to start with this non-stick pan for our pesto chicken. So for pesto chicken panini, we need to first make pesto chicken. And for that, let's just start with 3 teaspoons of cooking oil. Coat the pan here. This is a 1.5 pounds of thinly sliced chicken breast pieces. And let's add it to the oil. It's very thin, so it should not take very long to cook. 15 to 20 minutes at most. You don't want the chicken to dry up also. So just to stir it nicely and leave it then to cook. Do not cover it because that could release water and make it mushy and soggy. So the pesto sauce that we are going to use for this chicken is, I already have one in my refrigerator. I had stored some when I made it. So I am going to use that. If you have it, that's great. If you can buy one, that's also good because that, speeds up your process, makes it easy for you. And if you can make it quickly, go ahead and please do it. I have made pesto fresh on one of the earlier episodes, and you might know how to make it. So while doing that, you should stir your chicken, get more surface area to cook. They look good, they're cooking very quickly. So another 3-4 minutes and we will add pesto sauce to it. Thinly sliced chicken pieces will take about 10 minutes to cook. Chicken looks like it is done, it's cooked, and it's ready to take other ingredients. So let's add 2 teaspoons of pesto sauce to it, and then we will add little more to our sliced bread when we are making panini. Let's add a little bit of pinch of freshly ground black pepper and a pinch of salt. Mix it. Pesto chicken is ready to go in your panini. What I want to do at this point is move all of the chicken pieces to a side and add spinach, baby spinach, to this pan and let it wilt a little. Spinach, they look good, and I think it's done. Let's switch it off. So the pesto chicken, it took up the whole thing, that filling that needs to go in pesto chicken panini took up about 11 minutes. Let's move this pan to the other stove and bring our grilling pan to this stove. Heat up the pan. So the flame is on high right now, and while it is heating up, drizzle a teaspoon of oil. We'll take 2 slices of bread. This is multi-grain sandwich bread, so nothing very fancy about it. You can use, but what is key thing about this slice of bread is it's not soft like those white breakfast bread. This is more like French bread texture, French baguette. So 1 teaspoon of pesto on one side, 1 slice, and 1 teaspoon of pesto on the other slice. These are big slices, so if you may want to share this panini, this is quite a big panini. Okay, Lower the flame to medium, and at this point press the bread a little bit to the pan because we want the bread to hug the pan. Add filling to one slice, and what we want to do is add the spinach with it. Beautiful. Put the bread here, move it to the center, and then take this press handheld, or let me show you how to do with a kettle full of water. Looks good. Let's turn it. Very good. And we press it again. This is a home remedy for not having a panini press, but it's tasty. I make it work for me anyway. A lot of times it's not that you cannot get a panini press, but there are just so many tools that we gather in our kitchen and we start feeling overwhelmed with it. So it looks like panini is done. Looks very good. Switch off the stove. Hold the panini with your 2 fingers here. Take a sharp knife and cut it in the middle. Wonderful. This is your pesto chicken panini. Portobello panini. We start with a big size mushroom and we grill it stovetop with a teaspoon of oil in the grilling pan. This takes a little bit of time because it's thick mushroom, so we're going to put it on the pan, which is hot, and sort of press it as it cooks, because what happens is it will start becoming flatter and thinner, and then it'll be easy to put it on the bread. There, can you hear the sizzling sound? That's what I'm doing. What I'm also going to do are 2 slices of tomatoes and 2 slices of gala apple. We are going to make it a wholesome, hearty panini with all of the essentials in there, so that you don't go looking for more food to eat. There, it's releasing water. Mushroom has a lot of water in it, so once it heats up and you press it, water gets released. And flame is medium. You want to keep it medium so that any water that is being released here quickly evaporates. Sometimes it's not easy to not use your fingers. I mean, it's okay to use them because you get to touch and feel a lot with your own hands, and it's okay. You are cooking for your family. Okay, that looks good. Sprinkle some mushroom. Is almost done, about 2 more minutes. And as soon as mushroom is done, we'll switch off the stove because tomato, apple slices, they're all done almost. So we sprinkle a little bit of salt, just a pinch, quarter teaspoon perhaps, and freshly ground pepper, just again another pinch. Turn it over. Wonderful. Look at that. And now we add spinach for spinach to wilt. Baby spinach. So this is done. Mushroom is cooked. Tomato, apple, spinach, they're all ready. So we'll move the ingredient pan to the next stove and bring panini pan to this stove and start putting together the portobello panini. Let's oil the panini pan. This is cast iron pan, and we will start with our putting together the panini. Okay, 2 slices of bread again. Make sure your flame is medium, which it is. Hold the pan with one hand and rotate the bread on the flat side with your other so that it spreads the oil. Start with cheese slice. This is Swiss cheese, low-fat Swiss cheese. I love it, and my family loves it, so I'd use it. Feel free to use any cheese. What cheese does is it melts and it keeps everything together inside between the 2 slices. That's the idea behind cheese. Okay, let's do the mushroom. Try to use a wide flat spatula to pick up everything and put them on the slice of bread, because they're all cooked and they're soft, and while picking up they could perhaps fall apart. You don't want that. So all ingredients are here on one slice. Let me get the spatula because this bread slice is hot. So move it to center. Looks good. And now let's press it with the panini, handheld panini press. 1, 2, 3, go. Can you hear the sizzle? It is sizzling. Everything is melting together between the 2 slices of bread. And we'll keep it this way for 30 seconds to a minute. This handheld panini press is not very heavy. That is why I put extra pressure on it. If you don't want it, that's okay. You can just leave it like this and be done with it. I think it's ready to be turned. Wow, that looks good. I can see the cheese melting there, so I think it's ready because everything was already cooked, and we have held it for 30 seconds. Let's switch off the stove. Even after switching off, it's cooking. So let's quickly transfer it to a serving dish. this is your portobello mushroom panini. Our next panini is butternut squash panini. For that we need round slices of butternut squash. I love it because it's sturdy, it doesn't fall apart even when you cook it. And we have heated a pan here, non-stick frying pan, and I start with about 1.5 teaspoon of cooking oil. Coat the pan. You don't need a whole lot of oil here. Coat the pan. 3 cloves of garlic sliced. Add this. Saute. And then add these roundels of butternut squash. We also have 2 slices of green pepper because I wanted to bring something green and something, another vegetable into it. So I have cut up 2 slices and we'll add that to the pan as well. There you go. We'll have 2 slices of cheese that we will use when we are putting together the panini. Now the pan flame should be about low to medium. Give it a turn. And for cooking this these butternut squash slices, we need to have a covering lid here so that it cooks in its own steam. So let's get the lid. Okay, that looks good. We reduce the flame, let it cook, and it will come back. Turn it over in about another 3 minutes. The slices should take about 6 to 8 minutes to cook. Looks like these guys are ready. Let me press one. Oh, it is going right through, so it's done. Let's add a pinch of salt. And a pinch of freshly ground black pepper. See how all of these ingredients are so common. I've been using them in all these paninis, so you don't need to do too much work. Once you prepare something, that's ready to go in other paninis as well. Let's move the pan to the next stove. Bring grilling pan for making panini here. Start with oiling the pan, 1/2 teaspoon drizzle over. Two slices of multigrain bread. Okay, they're hugging the pan now. So 2 slices of cheese. We'll put 1 slice first and bring in slices off. Looks good, very good actually. Yum yum. And the slice. And now press it. I'm sorry, I forgot to put one more thing which we can add to this slice, the top slice bread. I love to have a little bit of sweetness to this sandwich, so I'm using 2 teaspoons of peach preserve on this slice of bread. This peach preserve I already had in my refrigerator, and let's put it back on the bread here. Okay, and press it. Now I'm going to turn the heat lower. Now, even though I forgot the first time to put peach preserve, I added it once I remembered. So do not hold yourself back by thinking that, oh, I forgot, so now I cannot do it. If you want to do it, you can do it. There is no boundaries there. Let's turn it over. I am already so thrilled. This is looking gorgeous, beautiful. And everything that has gone in it is so tasty that the whole thing put together is even tastier. Let's turn off the stove. Pan is quite hot. And we are done. So let's transfer this to the cutting board. Cheese has melted and it looks delicious. Do you remember how I arranged the 2 rounds on 2 halves of the bread? And then I topped it with green pepper slices. Back of my mind, I was thinking I'm going to cut it in center, and that's why I had arranged them like that. So you should also start thinking like that when you're making panini. And then cut it in the center. It will not cut up your rounds. And transfer it to serving plate. And there you go. This is your butternut squash panini. For tangy tofu panini, we need tofu slices. And I bought a light, firm tofu. And so I sliced it. Let's oil the pan. This is again grilling pan, and drizzle about half a teaspoon of oil. And we will take these 2 slices of tofu, place it on the pan. These 2 slices of red pepper, place it here. And later we will add, as we are finishing cooking these guys, we will add some baby spinach to the crowd here, and we'll sprinkle some lemon zest on it. So this is going to take about, my flame is on medium to high. We don't want it low because tofu it might release water. So let's do that. And we need to stand here and turn it over and over because we don't want it to burn. It's not going to take a long time. It's probably at most 5 minutes for this whole thing to cook. And then we will go on to putting together the panini. We are now going to zest some lemon on top of our ensemble here. And that'll give it a lemony, tangy taste. It smells so good. Looks good. Sprinkle some pinch of salt, pinch of freshly ground black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of honey. There you go. Add the spinach leaves at this point. Smells good. Looks ready. Let's transfer this pan of ingredients to the next stove and bring our panini pan here. So let's start with the cast iron pan here, getting heated up. Half a teaspoon of cooking oil, drizzle. A lot of people use butter. I don't like to use butter, so I use my cooking oil, which is generally, typically canola. You can also use olive oil. This one is olive oil actually. So I have 2 cooking oil in my kitchen. One is canola and the other one is olive. All right, this is done. Let's top it with cheese. And now remember how you want to place your tofu slices. You do want an imaginary half there and the other half, and this should be turned around for better grip here and here. Take off all baby spinach and put them in here. Looks good. Let's lower the flame here and place the other slice on top of this slice. Move it to center before you press it, and let's press it now. That sizzling sound will tell you that you have pressed it hard enough for all various kinds of moisture and water to get released from your ingredients, and they then stick together and make up your delicious panini. Smells wonderful. That lemony smell is enticing. So we'll see how it comes out. Now let's turn it over. They're stuck together very well, so you need to loosen up the sticky part here a little. Turn it over and then press it again. Do you hear the sizzling sound? That means it's binding together. Let's turn off stove at this point because it's been over 30 seconds. And the pan is quite hot at this point. So it's still cooking your panini. Give it another 30 seconds and then transfer it to cutting board, cut it in 2 halves and onto your plate. So our session of making paninis today has come to an end. We did so much. We came out of our usual, I don't know if I can make paninis that are so good that we find in good restaurants. We came out of those boundaries. We a kind of sandwich that started in Italy in the 16th century sometime thereabout, made its way to America in the mid-20th century, and it's so popular now. It's warm, it is satisfying, it's hearty, it's healthy, and it's quick and easy to do. We just did it. We made pesto chicken panini, we made portobello mushroom panini, we made butternut squash panini, and we made tangy tofu panini. All of these required few common ingredients and few other ingredients very commonly found in your refrigerator, in your veggie basket, in pantry, and in your corner grocery store. I had fun, and I hope you will when you try these dishes. If you have any question, call me at 617-504-5136 or write to me at reema@sharontv.com. Happy cooking without boundaries.